there with your own, what do you call it? With your own AK-47 roaming the street, because it won't be comfortable for us abroad too when things goes on like this. And it won't be easy for you to decide that you want to go back as well, because it's going to be like from frying pan to fire. The consequences of your support and defense of criminals in Nigeria, helping them to share the propaganda that has kept people in perpetual poverty, generational poverty, will also eventually affect all of us too. I hope I will say that. I'll keep reminding you that. However, to those of you who have managed to leave, and somehow there is something I have to say to you. Okay? You haven't escaped anything. We have not escaped anything. And if you don't believe me, don't worry. You are welcome to the West, or you are welcome to wherever you have managed to get yourself and your family to right now. But why did you leave Nigeria? That's the first thing you have to tell yourself. A lot of you are doing fine in Nigeria. And when I say fine, I mean to Nigeria standard, you were doing fine. But something became so scary for you that you knew you are going to lose everything, including that your beautiful family. And you started thinking about them. And in all your thoughts, you know there was no solution for them in Nigeria, because you have been there. You are there, Abi. You are also seeing what they are doing, Abi. And that's finally sent you out. You are welcome to the West. It is not a tea party, by the way. It is going to be an experience for you. But there's something I have to also remind you of. It is either you are going to live with that reality that Nigeria has no future. And if Nigeria should have any future, it can never continue the way it is currently constituted, Abi. I hope you will live with that for a very long time before you become very comfortable like those before you. And then you begin to fight for Nigeria criminals. You begin to tell how you love Nigeria, how you love your country, having escaped from the shithole, Abi. But there's going to be a time when you are going to realize that you might have escaped, but as things continues, there is likely not ever going to be a Nigeria to return back to again. And what that would mean, I may not really be able to describe. But you're going to get to that stage too. And at that point, you probably will pick up your own side then. Or you should pick it right now. Because at that point, Nigeria will become so irredeemable. The currency will be like toilet paper. The entire economy will depend on handouts. Businesses will die. People will die. And it's just going to be like a wide west. Wide west. And that is never going to give you that comfort you think you are going to get. From first, leaving the shithole, then from second, pissing over them by pretending that Nigeria will be better from your own lenses, from wherever you are hiding or wherever you run to. Okay? Because for those of you who are, who are very prayerful, I have told you many times that do not let these criminals continue to take advantage of your faith. It's Nigerian criminals who are specialists in calling God. They can call God, and you think that's exactly how much they respect God or fear God. They don't. But they know it's an easy way to get into your head by making you believe whatever else or anything else they say. Right? Do not let them. Always. Right? Use that your faith. I've seen them done that many times. They will tell you to pray for Nigeria. Hmm? A lot of you, a lot of us grew up praying for Nigeria. They even have something called the national prayer for Nigeria. But can I give you an example? Hmm? In this day and time, nobody sits and pray for a problem to go away anymore. They have to do something. Okay? So, for example, again, you've seen this Israel and the Hamas in Palestine, have you? Or in Gaza. These guys were flying parachutes like that. They call it a glazer. Two people will be inside a glazer that look like a machine, or with a parachute and a gun. They were flying into Israel on that day one of that Wahala. They were flying in. They had drones that are underwater drones. Okay? They have drones that they made themselves to attack Israel. They have drones that they put on, you've seen some of you that have seen some of those propaganda videos, Abi. They had machines, they have everything to attack a place, Abi, because they said during the Ottoman Empire. I'll tell you that story quickly because it's related to what I want to say next. During the Ottoman Empire, the ones that owned the areas like that is now today's Turkey, Iraq, Afghanistan, Iran, and then the UN created what do you call it area that is now called the Israel and Palestine, and then all of that. So since the time of that partitioning, Israel themselves, who are like the children of God, Abi, Israelites, you know what they did? They knew that they are in the midst of enemy. They are in the midst of those who believe that traditionally that land is their land. Sure you get. But British that colonized the area, okay, said for peace in 1945 and 1949, they now mapped out a place like that, okay, and they gave Israel part and they gave Palestine part. But the Israelites, they did not say because they are children of God, they will just call on God to kill their enemy or kill anybody that want to kill them. They know that they are in the midst of where they wanted them out. So what did they do? They spent all their lives building. Listen to this. Number one, they made everyone that is an Israeli, they made them understand what it means to be an Israelite, a Jew. They let them know their value. So when they now have a space called their own to build their own country, they build the best country in that axis. While the rest around them were all involved in this war, terrorist and all of that. Israel was building real democracy, good standard of living. You know what I mean? They were building things for their people and they were building defenses to defend their people. They were not building churches or synagogues or mosques or shrines or anything. They were building weapons and they were training every Israeli to know that for any day, any time, you could be called. So every Israeli that is above 14 or 15 years is already a reserved army. And you'll be in reserve army of the Israel, of Israel for the rest of your life or until when you can no longer, when you are too old. Now that is a country that said this is it. Now, if by any means their leaders begin to go astray, within them, within themselves, they will take care of all that, all of that, their leaders, because going astray means you are putting their own lives in danger and the lives of generations to come. So they didn't just go and call on God. Both countries, the Hamas, the Israeli, IDF, today they are all displaying their own weapon. They are destroying everywhere they can both destroy, like as horrible as that is. So in Nigeria, when they now tell you to pray, you see why I don't buy that. I'm not saying you shouldn't. So when you know what you are losing or what you stand to lose, I think it's 1948. Thank you, Big Mommy. When it is time for us to know what we are, I mean, you should have something you are living for. And whatever it is that you are living for, you should have an idea of being ready to die for that too. And that is why the psychological readiness, the reason, a lot of people don't want to find that reason because you still want to enjoy life. Abi, me, I know that you still that life you want to enjoy, okay? You would have to go serious extra mile to even have a tiny taste of it if you are lucky. Because with these criminals in charge, with the institutions that should checkmate them, are all in their pockets. I mean, there should be something that should sort of motivate you then, right? Where you can no longer leave Nigeria. When religion can no longer lie to you anymore. That is the psychological preparation. So that when the call comes, because there will be a time that is going to be a call, you will not have to be preached to. You will not have to be convinced. Do you want something better than what you are currently being offered? Do you know what these criminals are doing? Can you sit down and project what this means to your family? Can you sit down and process what this means for you? And what does it mean to you? What does that mean for you and your family? Does that mean further suffering? Loss of revenue, loss of life? Is that something you're just going to take in and accept because you are so powerless and you are poor, you can't fight and you can't do anything for the, you know what I mean? Of course, you must have that mental readiness. You know why they said people like Mayegu that I am dangerous. I am dangerous to those that have accepted the social conditioning, this conditioning. And like I said, the sophisticated morons who speak English, who speak grammars, but they are completely empty, suffering in the hands of career criminals. You know what I mean? So people like us are going to be like dangerous because people like me can turn a very weak-minded person, okay, into a fearless, brutal warrior if I continue to talk to you this way. Because you need to have a reason. Somebody said, if somebody attacked my child, I'll kill them. That is a motive. I'm not asking you to kill anybody. I'm just giving you something that you say, that's a motive. The reason. Why would you want a better life for yourselves and your family? Why? Because you deserve it. You deserve it. So if you don't tell yourself that you do, and you continue to put yourself in a place to give reasons, excuses for why you can't have them. You will never have them. You see, when people want to be dangerous, you can be dangerously good. There is good danger. You know, when they say something for the common good, where you walk about as an embodiment of something, of a good force. You get that? So you need to be a dangerous person to those who have always benefited from keeping you down. I have said this many times, if you can think about it. Okay? The real devil that they ask you to be praying against, it's not that invincible devil that they have made you to create in your mind. The real devil is those who are making policies and decisions, corrupt criminals, who are making promises and policies that are adversely affecting you negatively, and you can tell it's from them. And you are seeing all of them smiling to the banks with and their families all over the place, flying the private jets whenever they want. And you are seeing them in this glowing and all of that pictures, videos, laughing and clicking bottle of what you call clicking a glass of wine and here and there. It should be dangerous to those people. Those are not good people. See, there is no free money anywhere. Nothing is free. And these guys, they are a bunch of criminals who don't take responsibilities. And because they don't take responsibilities, means they don't value anything. And in that case, somebody can just single-handedly steal the money that is meant for the community hospital. And they will say, well, there's nothing you can do about it. Somebody can single-handedly steal the money that is meant for the regional power project or major road project or anything. If he's connected or she's connected enough, nothing is going to happen. And then you're going to see them later doing some celebration like birthdays, burials, wedding ceremony for their children, and they'll be flaunting their wealth. You should be dangerous to such people. You know why you are going to be dangerous to them? Because you should always be irritated around them. And we should have tens of thousands of you that should be feeling like that. You should never feel like you could have a bite, because it's going to be a poison chalice. Now, when you have that mindset of, I am losing something here, and there are many, many like myself who have actually lost out and they've done nothing wrong. They've just been regular Nigerians doing the normal thing, regular and the legit things, but they are all falling out one by one, while these criminals continue to grandstand everywhere. They destroyed, or should I say, they have further destroyed your education, by the way. There are many of you that will never go back to school. I don't know if you have a chance of watching me tonight. I don't know how that make you feel. I can tell you, if I was you, it will make me feel better. A country that has no plan for our own youth and young people. Such country has no future. A country that is grooming the people to be ass lickers and the nevuvuzelas for politicians. Such country has no future. Majority of all these guys who are doing PA to all these politicians, they are making the money they are getting from the crumbs they are getting from their own paymasters. They are sending their family, their children outside Nigeria. A lot of you are seeing them every day. Every one of them is looking for a chance to get his own bite and just bail out of Nigeria, because they know there's nothing for that future of Nigeria. you know. So you should be dangerous to those people. They should see you as somebody who has something to lose. And when you see people of like minds, because there's going to be that time that that calling is going to come, it's also ideal for you not to play into the hands of those who are also part of them. But for now, they are waiting to see if they're going to get their own share or cut. And if they don't, they will become very vocal. I'm going to quote some of them and I'm going to tell you, don't believe him. Because that is what Nigeria has become now. The future is so bleak right now that those who feels it so deeper in them are leaving. And those who are in there, majority are feeling trapped already. So if you are looking for something to motivate you or get you ready psychologically, think about what you have lost. Think about what you are still going to lose. The devil they're asking you to pray against is no other than these criminals. And if anybody is asking you to wait on the Lord and wait on the Lord, they're just asking you to wait to die. So one of them is going to trigger the calling. But if you are not mentally prepared, you are going to join the rest and be asking, is it about Yoruba? Is it about Igbo? Is it about Hausa? Because you are not mentally ready. In what a lot of people have come to also realize is that those who are living in diaspora, that we actually have a very big role to play. There's some psychological evaluation and then preparedness that you also need to. And so many of us that have no idea of what to do. Mayegun, what do you think we should do? A lot of us want to throw money at it. Mayegun, let us raise money. Maybe we should just raise money. Money for what and for who? When those that will actually access that money will take any money. True. A lot of you will donate money. So much of it. But you will never get any result because those who are likely going to get the money are not indeed mentally prepared. They have no idea of what they're actually meant to be asking for. So, and that is why we all need to begin to tell ourselves the truth. And at the same time, begin to give ourselves that psychological readiness too. Because sometimes I get all mixed reaction on this platform. And I respect all of them. In fact, I acknowledge all of them, even in whatever I also believe in. And that is, there's still a chunk of us here that believes that Nigeria still stands a chance. And I don't know what gave you that impression. And somehow, my own patience is like it's already sort of wearing out too. Because my own belief is that not until a lot of us actually meet that reality, that point of reality where you're going to say, man, I actually thought Nigeria would still work out. I actually thought if you know what I mean. I used to believe that until you meet that, we should just let you enjoy the experience. But fine, Nigeria can still be helped, or Nigeria cannot still be helped. Fine. But what kind of help do you think Nigeria needs? As you are watching me now from your own different base abroad right now, if I ask you to bring a pen and paper, okay, and just write whatever comes to your mind, what help do you think Nigeria needs now? Even if you kind of stylishly agree that Nigeria should break up. I remember Sham. Sham would tell us that Mayegun, I supported the breakup and all of that you are saying, right? But I am saying that we need to get rid of these guys first. And then we can have a chance of sitting together and discussing how we're going to break all of these things up and all that. Something like that, you know? So they believe that maybe it's going to work or not. Okay. But we have another, what do you call it? Another chance at giving ourselves the mental preparedness of what are you going to be demanding for, even if you have to invest your time, invest your energy, invest your money in anything that is going to actually bring a difference in how things are currently going in Nigeria. Like that mental preparedness. There are many sort of, should I say, there are many people who have different ideas of what they think should happen. But there is something you have to remember, which is something I say all the time. Okay? It is not how emotional you are about it. It is the facts behind this. A lot of us used to be pro-Nigeria. And that is why I don't get upset with people that says Nigeria will still work or Nigeria may still work. That's okay. I don't get upset with them because many of us used to be like that. There's always going to be a moment of truth that you have to take your time and just sit back. Don't use your imagination this time around. Just think about happenings. Just think about happenings and then think about those behind all that are happening. And then tell me, where is that your idea of Nigeria will still work coming from? How do you mean it's still going to work when, one, you can't elect them, you can't sue them and get anything, and you cannot protest against them without getting ready for the brutal violence they will unleash on you? So where is the idea of Nigeria will work one day? If you look at those who were before these guys, Bokwari and his gang, people said it can never be worse than that. Now look at Tifnumbu and his gang now. Are they not worse, already worse than the Bokwari? So who are you waiting for? Shitiman and his own people? Or Akpabioli, and who are you waiting for? So this is where people like me, like I said, you have to, at the point you're going to sit down. A situation whereby right now, when you talk about insecurity, you have no idea who is responsible, who should be held responsible for the insecurity. The president or the minister? What about the economy? What about the devalued currency? What about the unemployment? Who should be held responsible? Eh? And on and on and on like that. Who you going to hold responsible? None. Because everybody just dropped their own in that bucket, and then you begin to wonder and nobody's ready to actually be held responsible. Well, it was yesterday. It's a breaking news. And the breaking news was that FCT of Wiriwike, that they have removed him from the TSA, Treasury Single Account. Under Bokwari, when they came in, Goodluck Egbere Jolantan was doing something called the TSA, Treasury Single Account, so that one ministry having about 400 bank accounts, 300 bank accounts and all of that, siphoning money and all that. So they decided that they must all have one single account. And at the end of the year, wherever money is left in the account should be forwarded to this single account, all of them. You understand? So, and the fact it was already in place before these criminals came. Now that is no more. They said with the wicked could spend money, he could generate money, could spend it as he likes and all of that. He shouldn't worry himself about that. Then the monetary policy last under Bokwari, they said to save Nigeria Naira, they needed to stop subsidy of dollars on some certain items like rice, sugar, this, that, and all of that, so that they will not be giving subsidy on dollars. And that will make Nigeria strong. Nigeria jumped from, Nigeria Naira jumped from 150 Naira official to 730 Naira under Bukwari. And in 5 months, it has jumped now to over 1,000 Naira under Tifnubu. So yesterday they announced that they are now returning them back to the item. Like we have lifted the ban on it. So the same forex that they don't have and all that. So last time they said, oh, it was a great policy. Nigeria ran aground, dollar crashed. Now they've taken it off and they say, oh, it's a great policy again, whatever. Sure, you get what I mean? So I have one quick one I want to add just before we continue. Those who are fighting poverty.
Black Iwanso, sir. I am the chairman of Shokaye. For now, I am the chairman Shokaye CDA. And I was just at home now, and they brought this for me as palliative for the whole of Shokaye estate. In this estate, we have 147 houses with families and tenants living there. I'm confused now. I don't know how to share this for 147 households in Shokaye estate. If you guys, the government, I'm talking to Dapo Abiodun now. If you people know you cannot do something, don't do it. We are not hungry. We are not beggars. So we don't need your rice as palliative. This is not even one bag. This is not up to an eighth of a bag of rice. Tí ó bá ṣe é ṣe, ẹ má force ara yín láti ṣe, à ń ṣe lébi ń bí báyìí. So èmi aláìkí ń gbé ráìsì padà kó bá mi gbé lọ fún Dàpọ̀ Abíọ́dún kó gbé padà sí ọ̀gá ẹ̀ Tinubu tó rán kó gbé fún àwọn ọmọ wọn. À ń ṣe lébi, Ọlọ́run ò dẹ̀ ní ṣe wálé lébi. So that is it. We don't need this rice. If you want to give us palliative, don't insult us. This is an insult. Shokaye estate refused to be insulted. God bless you.
God bless you, sir. So people who treat people like that, okay, cannot tell you they have this great plan of taking you out if you don't push back. You must have that, and the people that can really push back are those of you who see have something to lose. You are about to lose that your comfort, and you may never get it back. So those of you whose life has been sort of altered, especially students, look at you. Oh, you know, I can only imagine what it is like to be a student in Nigeria of today, especially if you are also a parent. I can only imagine it. I used to pay, you know, this was a long time ago. Well, it's not that long time ago anyway. But I remember I used to pay somewhere around 45,000, 50,000 Naira on Kofo Bolawan Amori as their school fees then, you know, like, and they said they were in private schools. Then it changed, then it changed, then it changed to what it is today. Every time they now tell me we need to pay the school fees, I'm like, oh dear. Then I would just remember, I'd be like, oh, more. If I was still in Nigeria, what kind of job, what kind of work would I be doing to be able to afford, to be able to afford the education for my children? So when I look at a lot of you, I don't know, but it never used to be like this. And you can now tell yourself this is beyond whether APC or PDP now, right? Or you're not telling yourself yet. You're still abusing me. No, you will never stop abusing me. I'm used to that. Okay. But after abusing me, after calling me names, the other day, I think it was 2 days ago, I was reading my comment on Facebook, and one of them said, now Ogun go kill your mama. You this my Egun. I was like, wait. If I am telling you how they are economically impoverishing you, and then you say, make Ogun kill my mama for saying it. After Ogun kill my mama, should that one go make the economy improve? Have you ever thought about that? Eh? Another one came and said, shut up your mouth, go and look for a job. And I was like, okay, if I found a job, or let's say I have a job, okay, and would that then stop and reduce the terrorism that these guys are unleashing on you to the point that you don't have to say anything about it? But the bottom line is, if you are not, if you are lying to people, fine. Well, you can't lie to yourself. Whatever happens to me, whatever I do with my life and the rest of that, they still would never wipe off the truth of the millions of lives that these guys are ruining and destroying, including generations unborn. That won't write it off, will it? Ogun kill your papa, Ogun kill your mama. Now this, can you say that to your papa? Can you respect your mama? And all those things, like all those talks, when you say them, after all of that, how is the reality how is the reality treating you? How? I was reading somewhere, and it was it's sort of a group chat, and you had these Nigerians there, and they were APC, okay, and then they were lamenting about not being recognized by their leaders. We do everything. We are always everywhere. We are the one who are telling people that Tinubu will do fine. Tinubu will shake the coconut, but you're not giving us anything. Some of these people they are giving appointment to, they are just the children of politicians, children of Kiniko. What about us? We will not go shop. They were complaining to themselves, and other people were like, don't mind them. Don't mind them. They will expect us to be defending them everywhere. They will expect us to be fighting and doing all of that. There are people who are talking about Tinubu's, all of that. I was like, and I was there under a different name. They no say I did there. And I was some of them were sending voice notes. Some of them were typing. And they're like, and I was like, God damn it, man. They don't value you. You know that. But because you put Tifnumbu as your profile picture, you cannot be seen to come outside and complain about the hard life that you are living. You don't want people to share your Abby. So after the social media rant and all of that, then you bring out your phone and you start asking people to support you. You need to pay your school fees. You need to take care of your daughters. You need to take care of your children, all that stuff. And then you now realize that nobody really care about you. Now, because say you have done too much on social media and you cannot be seen to come out and cry. There are those who have tried to. The other day, one person was telling me about the problems faced by the poultry farmers in Nigeria. Homo. Ah! Lives, savings, investment are being destroyed as you are watching this video this evening. Poultry farmers with their eggs. Ah, Baba. So this guy was now lamenting that that people are so poor that they can't, they can't really afford eggs anymore, and they have so much supply that they need to. But at the end of the day, ended up having to destroy some of them for egg. What do you call that in egg gluten? A big long way. And there is no help coming from the government whatsoever. No plan, no nothing. You are on your own. Businesses are dying. People are dying quietly. This whole thing is like evil wind blowing across the place. So you as a student whose education is going to be, it's going to be ruined. Okay? So at a point you have to tell yourself, what is your purpose in life? Eh? What would be your purpose in life? And is any of these happenings, any of them pointer to you that is going to lead you to your purpose? Any? Now you may not be seeing this yet, okay? Maybe somebody is still paying your bill. I don't think there are so many people who are so lucky to have their bills paid by somebody else. Not so many people are lucky. So at a point, you have to tell yourself the truth. Okay? Whether you are for them or you are not for anybody. There's something that indeed puts you in a position of either what you have done or what you have failed to do. So if you want something better, you must first of all reject something bad. And this is bad, isn't it? This is very bad. Very, very bad. And I can tell you this 1 million times on repeat. Very, very, very bad. But if you are still struggling right now, that means you have something that you may lose soon. That is enough for you to get yourself mentally ready that, you know what? It is either them or us at some point. They are no more than us. No, they are not. They forced Nigeria together for their own selfish benefits. Now, until the two-thirds of the current people that is of the people that are currently trapped in the current Nigeria realizes that until that choice is made by them and not for them, nothing is going to change. And we must get ready to know that for something to change, we must reject what is wrong. And it is not by just, screaming and shouting about it. It must be a well-coordinated sort of, I am kind of being careful of the word to use so that it doesn't mean like, it doesn't look like I'm indoctrinating you little by little, because if I go that route, just start radicalizing everybody so early. But you get what I mean? You should be in a state of mind that you are around people that think like you. And you begin to avoid people that don't think like you. Do you understand what I mean? Whether you are in Nigeria now or not, you must develop the idea that those who think like you or those who know what you know are very few. A majority would like you to explain it. And no matter how much you do, they will never get it. Now, let me tell you how this kind of thing works. We can get whatever we want, whenever we want. But we must know what we want. before we know how to get what we want. Some of us know what we want and we know how to, but you need to begin to develop that preparedness that will make it easier for you to identify people like yourself. And I'm saying people who actually want something out. Now, you see, this medium that we are now is so powerful that it can do the job for us just like this. You get that? Yeah, avoid people that want you to see that Nigeria will still work. Avoid them. They are energy sapping people that will sap you off your energy. They will suck it out of you until you have none left, possibly. And that is for those of you who are asking, what is the solution? What is the solution? It is so close. It is very close. My own single worry is that when it finally happens, there may never be a real control, which will make it pretty much like very messy. If my language or if my English language is not so clear enough to you, I will explain it in a simple term. You see where this Nigeria is going right now is headed for somewhere. And whether it's going to be a year from now, or 10 years from now, or 20 years from now, there is something that it is so certain and so close. If Nigeria continues in this trajectory, it is going to end very bad. And end very bad means there will not be any real clear sort of pathways, so to say. And that means it will be like, like Libya that you have in Libya, where armed groups are indeed those who run the majority part of the country. So to avoid all of that, that is why when you have mediums, where people will understand what they want and how they want it. So which means if you know how, it means you are ready to go for it, not sending somebody else. You cannot run a country like this. It is so impossible for a country that is over 200 million people and continue to run them like a banana republic like this, where everything and anything goes. Of course, it's going to be like a matter of time. That matter of time is why I said it could be a year from now, it could be 2, it could be 10, it can actually be 20. I won't be able to say. But to those who know better, they said it is not actually so far anymore. But to somebody like me, I would like to have an educated, well-enlightened citizens to actually know what they are indeed fighting for. These guys are going to get ready because Nigeria is so divided, of course. And that's why I said, for those who know the truth, they are not limited to any part of Nigeria. They are everywhere in Nigeria. And they are very much right there in Nigeria. And that is why I said, if you believe that before they take that last thing you value from you, because they will, they will eventually, before they take that valuable thing from you and every other thing that you've actually lost in the course of this criminals misruling and ruining Nigeria, that is the motivation you need. You don't need to ask anybody for what should we do? What is the solution? There is no other solution for you to, at least after admitting that everything is wrong and these criminals, they are not going to go away until they are chased away. But they would have to do something that will sort of, trigger what will chase them away. Or if the citizens don't have the knowledge, the education that they need, criminals will still hijack that from you. And it's still going to be like from frying pan to fire. So I'm of that belief that if a lot of us actually knows why, for me, maybe I should give you my own example. Mhm. My own example of why I will pick up and join others to fight in any battle in Nigeria is the fact that right before my very eyes, I have seen the total, the total dissipation, destruction of what once looked like a promising, glorious region, the southwest Nigeria. And I'm not talking about just the infrastructural, destruction. I'm talking about the mental destruction of our people. We have seen the generation of systematically, programmed or conditioned poor people. And they've made our people to accept it as if it is what it is. And they should be grateful for what it is. So I've seen criminals, a set of criminals who have presented themselves as leaders of this dispensation, and they have contributed to the generational ruins, over 2 decades of generational ruins that have presented, God, poverty and fear to our people, especially young people. Nothing like futuristic or promising per se, even though people continue to kind of strive to be the best they can. The opportunities are just not going to be there. And this is something that's cut across the entire Western region, the Yoruba land, right before my very eyes. For the first time, I reported the invasion of my region by the Fulani terrorists that not even a single one of those who parade themselves as leaders from that part of Nigeria had the bone or the liver, the backbone to even speak out and condemn it. In Yoruba land, I witnessed the Nigerian military beating up the locals, elderly men and women, for rejecting Fulani terrorists from invading their villages and destroying their farms. They came back and they beat them up. I saw that, and nobody's raised any whim. I witnessed a time when somebody finally rose up and said, "Listen, this is Yoruba land. You can never try this here. It's never going to happen." And the system went after him. And I watched the supposed outspoken Yoruba leaders, elders, Obas, and the rest of them romancing Bukwari. And they encouraged him to kill Sunday Igboho, kill him. I witnessed all of that. So I don't know what I'm still going to witness if I live long enough. The backwardness of the Yoruba race, the destruction of our education system, the destruction of our own infrastructure, not even improving them. This is not done by our Hausas or Igbos. These were done by Yorubas. The Yorubas that sold Yorubas to their own fellow criminals at the dining table, the Nigerian dining table or dinner table. So I'm not one of those who actually blame others for what we have also had as our own share from this demonstration of grace in Nigeria. I mean, I don't blame others because nothing happened. Nothing that has happened to the Yorubas of the western region of Nigeria today happened without the consent of those who are supposed to protect us and save us. And rather they want to keep us divided. They want us to be so afraid of other people, other tribes. Why those who have actually sworn to slit our throat, and they are doing it. The Fulanis are walking about and all of. I witnessed all of that. So if I have a reason to go back and fight, that would be one of the best and greatest and the main reason to. Because in 10, 15, 20 years, we all may not be able to even recognize where we come from originally anymore. That is the trajectory of where APC Egbekegbe is taking us. You don't get it? Okay, I'll tell you one other story. You see, as it is right now, it's more or less like there is no law. Okay? You have those who have what you can call the the immunity, something like that, the immunity from prosecution. People called me the other day and they said, "Have you heard?" I said, "What?" They said, some guys came out from my own hometown, Odogbolu, and they claim to be the owner of their family is the owner of the land in the entire town. I was like, how? And they said the guy, I mean, I was talking to people back then. They said these guys is like they have this document they are brandishing, and they have powerful people behind them. And they said everybody from Odogbolu, including my own ancestors who are long gone, that everyone that is from Odogbolu will have to go back to Odogbolu and buy and rebuy their land. This is not governmental. You know, they will say government want to take your land. Some individuals, they came together and they just announced to the whole town, the entire town, my entire land. I mean, they told them that everybody would need to come and then I said, how is that even possible? They say, it's a big problem now. I said, how is that even a problem? Like somebody that all of you should just capture and take to what do you call it, to a psychiatric home and then get them checked. How would somebody wake up and say, my father owns this whole place, not small land or not the whole town, the town that has been in existence for centuries? How do you do that? And they said that they have very, very powerful people, connected people. I said, powerful connected people, does that even make any sense? I said, that's Nigeria for you now. That everybody is now trying to see what they will do. I said, what do you mean you are trying to see what you're going to do? And they said, well, that's what they do in Nigeria now. If you have guns and you have some money, okay, you can begin to just do anything you want. Report them to the police, report them to the whatever. The next day they are back, and then you are back at it again. And they can kill you and say, okay, yeah, they have arrested them, they will come back again. And I'm like, how do people live like that? You know? So, in a lawless place like that, one of these days, it will become so lawless that, apart from the fact that you don't want to raise your family there, okay, you also will probably feel like somebody needs to put an end to all of this. And that's just one. Somebody's telling me now that it's the same thing in Otta. It's the same thing, How could somebody just walk into a town and say, my family owns the entire town? These are not towns created. I mean, these are not news sites where they created them like 2000 or 2001. We're talking about a place that has been in existence for over 400 years. And from that town, we have some monuments there that can point to you and say for how long they've been in existence. Like, what the hell? Before them born your papa or your grandpa or your great-great-grandpa, how could you be boldly? Then I was asking them about Odogbolu. We used to have a lot of Ogun now. That the boy no fear for in life. Ni. They say, they say in Papa is one big jazz guy too. I said, oh God. So what's going to happen now? They said they are just waiting for their decision. Who is waiting? The whole town. They are waiting for them to see how they are going to settle it, if they are going to buy their land again. Or else everybody will have to leave Odogbolu. So I no go get a maternal hometown here. Because if you no get land, you no get Abi. They've sold all my family land in Odogbolu. I know even they asked them. The one I bought for myself, they don't take them. They tell me say they don't take them. Imagine me buying land, burying my mom on the land, and the same people in Odogbolu came and they said, listen, we are taking the land because you didn't buy it from the right people. And the right person who collected money was also standing there, was it's okay, I'll go and give you land somewhere else. They said, that's what they do now. They are all working together. They know you are abroad. I said, what will happen to my mom that are buried on the land? And they said, don't worry about that one. We are just going to fence your mommy out of it like this. I'm going to sell the rest. I was like, you will sell my land? I said, yeah, I will sell it. So that's it. They say, yeah, there's nothing you can do about it. I said, okay.